Hello, welcome once again to another edition of the Coach's Corner program. I'm Jeff Ruth, along with Hardy head football coach C.J. Wessler. And C.J., second win of the season, your first win at Mount Vernon, but it was your first home win. That had to be extra special.
Yeah, it's always special to play at home. Obviously, to get a victory is even better. And then when you have a rival game, it's always a little more excitement going into the game. Everybody's ready to go, and to be able to play a good game and to play really hard and compete and come out with a win. It's always exciting.
Especially after two really tough losses the 2 weeks before.
Yeah, the kids have been playing extremely hard. We talked to them as coaches. I took the blame for the Lima game. I thought the kids played extremely hard. We had a plan at the end of that game for the clock management, but didn't really work out in our favor. So, I told the kids I'll take the blame for that. They played extremely hard. Highland was a little bit different story. The kids played extremely hard, but we didn't really execute. We didn't really play that well. But to battle back and to get a win this week kind of shows the mental toughness of the kids. And we talked to them about we're 2-3 now. We have a couple plays away from being 4-1, but we can't really go back. We can only look forward. So we're excited for another opportunity this week.
All right. We have a lot of highlights to take a look at, and we'll do that right after these words.
Exercise science is the study of how exercise and the human body interact. The goal of exercise science is to develop an understanding and applied knowledge of the links between fitness, exercise, diet, and health. Harding High School is proud to offer students interested in athletic training, sports medicine, physical therapy, occupational therapy, or personal fitness an opportunity to pursue a career pathway in this emerging field. As a student of exercise science, you will gain real-world experience in anatomy and physiology, on and off the field injury evaluation, wound care, taping and bandaging, emergency care, exercise and rehab programming, and much more. For more information, contact your guidance counselor or see Coach Cunningham in Room 9.
Back once again on the Coach's Corner program, and the last couple of weeks we haven't had a whole lot of highlights to show, but we're making up for it this week. We got a lot of highlights that our viewers will see. Yeah,
the last couple of weeks I thought we did play hard. Our defense played well, but low-scoring games, not a lot of highlights. This was more of a high-scoring game. We were able to put the ball in the end zone, so it's always fun to watch offensive highlights.
All right. With that said, let's roll the highlights, as they say. Thought you really set the tempo. You kicked off, made them punt, and then you go 95 yards. That was a beautiful drive.
Yeah, big emphasis was getting off to a quick start, and I think we had over a 15-play drive to come out and start the game. So we had a feeling that they were going to try to run the ball early, just because we've given up quite a few rush yards, but we were able to, shut that down a little bit. Like you said, we got to stop. They backed us up. Here's our first play, so it's always nice to get out of the shadow of your own end zone right at the start with the first play with a nice run.
Freshman quarterback, and I thought he really came into his own Friday night. I was very impressed.
Yeah, the big focus for us, and as you could see, we were throwing the ball a little bit more. We feel like we've been holding him back a little bit, trying to protect him, and this week we were just kind of letting him go and letting him play the quarterback position, understanding that he's a freshman. He may make some mistakes, but I thought he played really well. He passed for over 150 yards. He rushed for 50 yards. So, and I can't emphasize enough how well we played up front. A lot of these runs you're seeing here, the running backs going untouched. We played really good up front.
Not only was the run game working, you utilized a lot of different guys running the football.
Yeah, Landon Keller's been our primary running back. He runs extremely hard. He's more of a physical type runner, and then a lot of times we can throw a smaller, quicker guy in there for a change of pace, and it's really benefited our offense the last couple of weeks. You see a very tough physical run there by Landon Keller for the touchdown.
It's always tough when you kind of reach that ball over the goal line. Sometimes it pops loose, but that time it worked out for him.
Yeah, you always want to, you tell the kids if they're going to do that, it better be a touchdown because, you have a turnover. They could go out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So You know, we knew going into this game that they were playing with two different quarterbacks. When 12 was in the game at quarterback, they liked to run the ball, and they did that quite a bit. And I think, you know, defensively up front, we did a really good job of slowing down their running game. And this was really the first game that we had where we were able to create some turnovers also. So. You see J.J. Starks, he was on here a couple weeks ago talking to you. He's been playing really well for us on the defensive line the past couple weeks.
You never trailed in the game. It was nice to get that lead early and then kind of build some momentum from that.
Yeah, you know, like I said, we talked to the kids about starting fast. We hadn't scored any points in the first quarter through the first 4 weeks. So, you know, our emphasis was starting fast, and we scored the first 2 drives of the game. And it gives you a lot of confidence when you're playing from having the lead.
It was about a 2-yard pass and a 78-yard run.
Yeah, you know, the one of the coaches in the press box saw something that he liked, and he suggested that play call, and obviously it worked out really well for us.
And a big play there, recovering the fumble. And we talk about turnovers, and certainly you were able to capitalize on a lot of River Valley turnovers last week.
Yeah, turnovers are the great equalizer. You know, they're tough to overcome, and we forced 4 turnovers, and that was probably the difference in the game. Here's another nice pass by Dez on a screen pass, and we have Jaden Jordan. He's another young guy. He's only a sophomore. He's stepped up for us the past couple of weeks at a receiver. Here's a nice play by Jaden Griffith. He had 2 interceptions. He recovered a fumble. He had a really good game for us at safety.
Yeah, and River Valley was looking to score on that drive, so a big save there.
Yeah, anytime you can get a stop down in the red zone, that's a big plus. There's a big completion on 3rd down to Ray J. That was starting the second half there. That was a big play for us. Again, another tough physical run by Landon Keller. I think he had over 20 carries. He had over 100 yards. He had that long touchdown catch that on that screen pass, that 70-yard reception. So he had a great game offensively for us.
Yeah, you set the tone in the first half by scoring on your first possession. You got the ball to start the second half, and you were able to move the ball downfield, again, very effectively.
Yeah, I think anytime you can, like I said, start fast, but then also, you know, the end of the second quarter, beginning of the third quarter really sets the tone for the second half of the game as well. And I think we executed really well in those moments. Here's Trammell with a great tackle. He's not the biggest guy. He's a tall, skinny guy, but you know, he likes to think he can tackle, and that was a really good hit.
And it was a physical game Friday night. There was some hard hitting on both sides.
Yeah, it was, and like I said, I credit our offensive line. I thought they did a great job. They played extremely physical, which allowed us to run for over 200 yards. Should see a couple runs in a row right here by Josiah Gooden. He's been battling a knee injury, but he was feeling healthier, and he had a couple big runs for us on the outside on some jet sweeps. Again, this is a play that 2 or 3 weeks ago we probably wouldn't have called, trying to protect our young quarterback, but it was just a zone read, and he made a great read, and he started to run, and you know, it was a little bit of a triple option. He decided to throw the bubble, and Jaden Jordan ran it in for a touchdown.
I think here you're just almost just trying to run out the clock almost. I think he had a 2-score lead at this point.
Yeah. Like I said, Landon Keller is a very physical runner. He's a taller kid, but he's not physically imposing. He doesn't strike you as like a weight room type of kid, but he does run extremely hard, and he keeps his feet moving, and he breaks a lot of tackles. Again, you mentioned us using several different backs. Here's Juju Glover, another smaller, quicker kid. After Keller has ran it up inside and kind of wore him out a little bit, we put him in there, and he's able to get the edge and score a touchdown.
There's one play I wanted to ask you about, because I made a comment Friday night during the game. I said, well, next time I see CJ, I'm going to have to ask him. There was a play, we didn't see any of it there, but there was a play down near the goal line where one of the players' helmets got ripped off, and I think they called a personal foul.
Yep.
And I thought it was going to be a first down. It was about the 1 or 2 yard line, but I think it was still fourth down.
Yeah.
So can you explain that play? Because
Yeah,
I didn't understand it.
Okay, so the ruling is typically if your helmet comes off, you have to come out for a play. But if it comes off due to a penalty, you do not have to come out of the game. You can stay in. But it was either 2 or 3 years ago they changed the ruling where there are no more automatic first downs. So that was the confusion. Sometimes the refs don't know that rule. Sometimes coaches don't know that rule. So everybody was anticipating a automatic first down, but that rule has been changed.
Okay, because there was some confusion in the press box. So,
Yep.
okay, now we know the answer to that.
Yeah.
All right, you mentioned Jaden. I think he's going to join us here in just a moment.
Yep.
Well, we'll come back. A lot of good highlights. Hopefully, we'll have a lot of highlights next week, too.
That's the plan.
We'll come back, and we'll be back right after these words. And we're back on our Coach's Corner program. This is the segment where we talk to one of the players, and certainly a defensive stalwart last week. He had quite a ball game, Jaden Griffith, and six tackles,
Yep, six
a fumble
tackles.
recovery, and a couple interceptions.
Yep.
That's a nice work.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Felt good.
Talk a little bit about this season in general. You know, we're 5 games into the season. You know, Friday night's going to be week 6. Just kind of talk a little bit about how you see maybe how you've progressed and maybe how the team has progressed from week 1 to where you are now.
I mean, yeah. At the beginning of the season, it was a little tough, having a new coach and everything. So we had to adapt to that. That was the first thing. I think Wessler made it easy to be able to do that, though. And it was like, everybody was buying into what he was wanting to do and showing up every day. So everybody coming together, I think, helped us, bring back a better brotherhood to Marion.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like we come together as a team and play harder than we ever have, with them coaching us. So, and from my perspective, I think I've grown a lot, like my discipline on the field as a safety. I think Coach Slater has helped me a lot with that. Discipline the receivers, discipline with not keeping my eyes on the quarterback and things like that. So I think we have a great coaching staff, and I think we've just been improving a lot on discipline, showing up every day and staying consistent.
You've had, obviously, being a senior, you've seen some coaching changes over the last few years, and you mentioned Coach Slater. You got you got the head coach, but you got a lot of assistant coaches that have head coaching experience. And just talk a little bit about what it means to have so many good coaches along the sideline or in the press box.
Yeah, I mean, that's the greatest thing about showing up to practice every day, knowing that everybody there is going to push you to make you, work for everything and to get better. So, and on the sideline, I mean, we got everybody's hype, everybody's fired up. I mean, Wessler and Slater, they're getting into it, getting ready for the next play, trying to score or go win. So I feel like having that on the sideline is a lot better, and not just lay back, do whatever you want and not be focused aspect. I think we are a lot more focused, and I think them coming together, I think they're a really strong coaching staff. So.
And it didn't take much to get hyped up for a game against River Valley.
No, absolutely not. That game is always a hyped up game for us. So,
talk about your 2 interceptions. I know we saw one of them there in the highlights. You just kind of read the quarterback's eyes and kind of sense that he's going to be coming in your direction?
Yeah, I mean, that one the first one we were in cover 3, so I was playing more of a deep third spot. So I saw that number 1 receiver go vertical, and I saw the quarterback's eye stay to him, and River Valley's quarterback, he likes to throw to the first read. So I figured he was probably going to throw the ball up, so I sped turn out of it and just played the ball. And then the second one, it was the end of the game, towards the end of the game. We were up by 2 or 3 scores, I'm pretty sure, and that was basically probably what I considered be the play that kind of secured it, you know,
Yeah.
because if they go down and drive or score that drive, my bad. If they go down and score that drive, then that gives them a chance to, you know, score again and get some more momentum. But that was a big momentum stopper, and then we went down and scored again. So,
And it was nice to get that win at home, too.
oh, it felt great, yeah.
Do you play any other sports?
I play baseball, and I'm maybe wrestling again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So any idea looking ahead what you'll be doing next year?
I want to go to business school of some sort somewhere, and maybe play some football or wrestling, maybe.
Okay. Well, there's still 5 games left. Hopefully the playoffs after that. Continue to have success, and good luck the rest of the season. Appreciate you being on.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be back. We'll talk about Friday night's game in Clear Fork, and we'll be back right after these words.
Welcome to Harding Telecom Digital Media. Unlike television, print, and radio media, which are all one-way communications, digital media creates an interconnected world of interactive communications that puts you in control of content creation and broadcasting. As a member of Harding Telecom, we have 3 ways of building your digital media skills. As an underclassman, you can take our semester-long class, Intro to Video Editing, where you'll be introduced to the latest hardware and software in digital media. Learn to create your own content with overlays, special effects, and audio processors. Your content will only be limited by your imagination. Telecom 1 is a year-long class that introduces you to the world of audio-video broadcast communications. Here you will learn how to operate video hardware and software, design sets, direct and produce events, and expand your editing capabilities broadcasting online and over our public access television channel. You will learn to produce daily news announcements and share your creations throughout our cable television and social media networks. Finally, Telecom 2 is our year-long class available for upperclassmen who have completed the prerequisite Telecom 1 class. Here you will produce and direct your own broadcast events. You will be put in charge of productions and lead other students through the introductory processes of media production. Many of our telecom graduates have gone on to study broadcast media in college and launched careers as television news and weather personalities, Emmy-winning editors for nationally syndicated television shows, and audio production engineers. So don't hesitate to schedule Harding Telecom Digital Media. Talk to your guidance counselor or see Mr. Mullins in room 201.
Back to wrap up this edition of the Coach's Corner program, and Coach, another big game. Again, it seems like, especially in the MOAC, they're all big games, but it's a long trip over to Clear Fork. The last couple of years they've kind of put things back together.
Yeah.
They got a very formidable team this year.
Yeah, they're a very good team. A couple of years ago, they kind of took their lumps. They played a lot of young guys, and now those guys are upperclassmen. They have a lot of experience. And it's a typical Clear Fork team. They're tough, they're physical, they love to run the football. And we've talked to the kids all week, looking at the game last year as a game that we should have won. We were up by 6 points late in the game and gave up a late touchdown. But they're a lot better football team. And I've talked to the kids about that, but I also believe that we're a lot better football team from last year also. So, the expectation is to go over there and match their level of physicality and compete, and hopefully it'll turn out in our favor.
The fact that I didn't see the Mount Vernon game, which was your other win, but I have to think last Friday was the best game you've played this year.
Definitely the most complete game. Our week 1 we played pretty well in spots offensively, but it wasn't consistent throughout the game. But I thought last week was a complete game. We played really well on offense. We played really well on defense. We did some good things on special teams. So definitely our best overall performance.
And kind of looking at the language, down along the sideline during the game. I mean, this was a game. It was easy to be engaged in a game like that.
Yeah, it was a fun, exciting game. And honestly, the most proud moment for me is as a coach and as our coaching staff. We were up 19-14. We threw an interception. And I think some of the past teams may have started to give in a little bit and give up. But our kids decided that they were in it. They weren't going to lay down, and then we forced a turnover right after that to get the ball back, and we go down and score and get a 2-score lead. So
the very next play, I think.
Yep. So a very proud moment as coaches to know that, the kids are bought in. They're going to continue to fight even when things start to go bad. They're going to correct it. So that was a great moment in that game.
All right, very good. Congratulations on the win, and we'll see you next week. Got homecoming coming up next week, so
Yep.
that's always a big week, but good luck on the road Friday.
Thank you.
Going to wrap it up for this edition of the Coach's Corner program. As always, appreciate you tuning in. For Coach Wessler, I'm Jeff Ruth.